In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 strategies I think will help you find time for personal development. And make sure to stick around until the end. I'm also going to share 2 pieces of advice that I'm looking to incorporate into my personal development journey, and I hope you will as well. Let's go ahead and do it. If you're new here, my name is Frank, and I create videos documenting my intentional living journey. I got the idea for this video this morning while I was reading the Miracle Morning. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to document myself going through the book and implementing it into my routine, into my day. So if that's something you're interested in, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. The other thing is, this is the problem I've had always, basically. I have access to courses, books, all this information for free on YouTube and whatnot, and you get excited at times because you're like, oh, this course seems like it would really help me, or this book seems like it would really help me. But then the reality of finding the time to implement those courses or books into your day becomes overwhelming. And today's video is basically, the goal of today's video is to reduce some of that overwhelm and talk about some strategies that I'm going to start incorporating into my day. Some of them I have already started, some of them I haven't yet, and that's what we're trying to address today. Helping you and helping me find time to work personal development growth into our day. The first strategy is, if you can, try to find a predictable time of day. And I know most people don't want to hear this, and I almost don't want to hear it myself, is that I had to look and say, well, what time do I think is predictable, where I feel like I can find some quiet time, some time to dedicate to my personal growth? And for me, it was pretty obvious that if I wanted to read, I wanted to watch courses, and basically devote some time to exercise and working on my personal development, that I was going to have to probably carve out some time in the morning. And the reason, what basically got the idea for this, how I got the idea for this video, was when I was reading the Miracle Morning this morning. Early on in the book, he talks about how he came to the realization that he was going to have to focus on his personal development in the morning rather. So that's what got me thinking that this would be a pretty good topic, or good video to create for you guys. So with that being said, mornings are not easy for me. I've always worked nights. I've always had odd hours, not a traditional schedule for most of my career. However, now I have a more traditional schedule, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5-ish. So I know that I'm going to have to dedicate time in the mornings if I want to make this happen. Now, with that being said, we're going to talk about some other strategies where you can use other parts of the day. So I do encourage you to at least keep an open mind and consider mornings. However, also reflect, maybe there's another time of day that's a little bit more predictable for you to work in personal development. So start to think of when you think you can find a 30-minute block, a 60-minute block, possibly, to incorporate this into your day. And I know there's a lot of resistance. I know a lot of people probably already clicking off the video, but I'm married, I have 2 kids. Today's Saturday, for example. So I want to spend some time reading or exercising and doing other things devoted to personal development. But the reality is, we have some plans tonight with friends, which I'm looking forward to going. But after I shoot this video, I have to go up. I'm going to prepare a dessert. I'm going to prepare an appetizer as well, and basically maybe do some quick errands before we head over. So I have a pretty busy day ahead of me, and I decided to shoot this video because I feel like it's really important to share this message. 10 minutes before this video started, I have a 7-year-old. We got into an argument, and I was frustrating. I had to sit on the couch for a few minutes and take some deep breaths before I start recording. I say this because I get it. It's not easy, but focus on finding some predictable time, even if it means it's a little bit of a struggle at first, and make it enjoyable. Make it a priority if you want to make some change. The other way I recommend working personal development into your day is just be creative. And this is going to make you think a little bit how you can be creative to find some ways to get personal development into your day. So for example, last year, my daughter was playing soccer. And what I did was, basically, I would walk around the field. So I was able to watch the game and also get in some exercise and move a little bit. So that was one way I would do it. this is not something I've done yet, but I'm going to start doing. On Mondays, the kids come home, and at 5:30 they have religion class over at the church. So what I would do is I would drop them off, and sometimes I would go run to the supermarket, do some food shopping, come back and pick them up and come home. However, if I have that food shopping done already, what I may do going forward is I drop them off at 5:30. I have to pick them up at 6:30. I may just sit in the car and just take that time to read or listen to a podcast. Because what happens is they come home at 4. So now between 4 and 5:15, there's that little bit of, they're coming home, having a snack, maybe working at home. It's a little chaotic, right? It's a little busy. It's not a quiet time to maybe create a video or read or do anything for that matter. So that's a little bit of lost time, but it's also, I won't call it lost because maybe I'm spending time with them. So if that's the case, not a big deal. However, when I drop them off at 5:30, I do have that 1 hour where it's almost like a lost hour. If I'm not doing something productive, what am I doing? I'm coming home, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, I gotta go pick them up. So going forward, I may, like I said, read, listen to a podcast, work on my personal development within that hour. And this may be the case for you too. Maybe you have kids or a daughter in dance or gymnastics or another sporting or maybe a musical instrument, and you have to, if you have that in your day where you're dropping off and you're losing that half hour while you're waiting, maybe that will be a good opportunity for you to go ahead and work on some of these things. Like I said, I haven't done that yet, with the exception of the soccer field. I would walk around, but I'm going to start looking for more opportunities to work in personal development that way. The last tip I have for you, and make sure to stay tuned, I'm going to share 2 pieces of important advice after this tip. The last tip I have is work it into your day in small chunks. So for example, I used to have more of a physical job. Now I work on the computer. It's a little bit more sedentary. Maybe once an hour I get up and I walk for 5 minutes just to get some movement in. Maybe 3 hours into my day, I take 5 minutes and just do some breath work, just kind of slow my mind down. Meditation is something that I don't do or haven't done really very much. However, everyone swears by it. So that's something I'm also going to incorporate into my day, and maybe just taking 2 minutes to just reflect, slow down, a little bit of quiet time, and things like that. Maybe visualize what I want to, like for example, for me, weight loss is a big thing right now. So maybe I'll sit there for 2 minutes and just visualize how I want to look and how I'm going to achieve those goals. So whether it be reading for a few minutes, maybe walking for a few minutes, listen to a podcast for a few minutes, watching a short YouTube video. So these are things the old me would be like, if I don't have a 2-hour block of time, I'm not going to do it. Well, the reality is very rarely am I going to have a 2-hour block of time. Fortunately, I'm in a position now with my career where I do have a lot of vacation time, much more than what my wife would have. So there are days, there are times where I'll take maybe half a day. I'll probably do this more. Maybe I'll take a half a day off of work. I'll work the first half of the day, take the rest of the second half of the day off, use my vacation time, and while the kids are still in school and she's still at work, and then spend some time working on it. So earlier I talked about being creative. That's another example of being creative. And I don't know your situation, and I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, because like I said, I'm talking to you, but I'm also talking to myself. It's not easy, but I want to make these changes and I have to figure it out. Manageable chunks, 5 to 10 minute chunks. I haven't done that much, and that's something I'm going to probably double down on and try to incorporate that, because otherwise it's just not going to get done. Like I was saying, today's Saturday, a little bit of a busy day, getting some things done. I was able to, when this morning I had some tea this morning, I was able to read about 5 pages, once again, of the Miracle Morning. And that's what basically got me thinking about this video, because he had mentioned finding the time and how he decided that mornings were going to be the time for him. So I'll leave it with that. Manageable chunks of time. Let me know actually in the comments if what you do to work personal development into your day, because maybe I'll learn something from you as well. That's actually the goal. That's what I'm hoping to do. So what I want to leave you with is this. I have access to a ton of courses and books and whatnot, and sometimes it's so easy to look at those courses and just get overwhelmed at, well, which one should I do first? So what I recommend is focus on what you're looking to achieve. And if you're looking to achieve multiple things like me, focus on one that's a little bit more of a priority, if there is one. And what I mean by that, for me, none of it matters if I'm not healthy. So I'm going to focus a lot more on my personal development on health and wellness initially. And down the road, what I'm hoping with the channel is I'm going to create more videos on being simplifying and maybe working some minimalism into my life. And minimalism is one of those things that, I'm not looking to live with just a handful of possessions. I'm just, I want to work it into my life, declutter, whether it be mentally, physically, declutter digitally as well. Those are things I want to incorporate into the topics of what I'm looking to create videos on. So if that's something that interests you, please consider liking and subscribing. Also, another good way to determine what you want to focus on is scoring your habits. So what I like to do is I think in the Miracle Morning too, if you click on the resources, there's a way to score your habits. You could probably find things online. Another way I like to score my habits is within the Growth Day app. I've mentioned that app a few times here and there. But basically, when you log into the Growth Day app, there's a panel or a section on the left-hand side where you can go ahead and score your habits daily, weekly, monthly, and maybe whole life, but nonetheless, daily, weekly, and monthly. And what you can do is go in there, score your habits, and then the software or the app will generate videos depending on how you scored, determining what you need to focus on. So let's say, for example, you're doing well in certain areas. However, you're not feeling well in this particular area, the app will generate videos, which is pretty interesting, geared to helping you basically improve in those areas. So let's say, for example, I go ahead and score my habits and my mood is not good. It may generate a video on how to improve your mood. So that's another way to determine what areas of personal development to focus on, because that to me is very overwhelming. When you have all this information, you don't know what to focus on. So that is what I highly recommend, scoring your habits. The last thing I'll say is patience, right? I had some success last year with losing weight and everything. And what happened is when you want results quick, I want to improve in this area, I want to improve in that area. And I really want to make this channel a success. So I've had a little bit of a roller coaster ride with the channel where I was going to be intentional living. Actually, it started off fasting. That was a different channel. Then intentional living. Then I felt like I couldn't pull that off because I'm not an expert. And I don't want to come across like I am. It's pretty obvious that I'm not, right? And then I decided to go weight loss. And then I took 3 months off. And I wasn't really off. I wasn't creating videos, but mentally I was working and I was trying to figure it out behind the scenes. And ultimately I decided to go the documenting route. And what I mean by that is, like this morning, I read the book like I was telling you. I saw a paragraph or a page on how to find time to work personal development in, and that's what cued me to create this video. So the channel is more about documenting my journey and sharing that with you. And what I'm trying to say is basically just be patient with the journey. I think I figured out a way to keep this channel, create videos in a sustainable way, even though it's not easy. Today, I'm pushing to get this done. That's why there's a lot of one takes, there's a lot of fumbling. I'm not going to sit here and try to make the perfect video, because then I'll never create videos. And I say that because it's the same applies to just the personal development. Progress, not perfection. One step at a time. I just want you to take that into consideration. That's one of my downfalls, not being patient. I'll leave you with that. I will see you in the next video. I wish you the best of luck. Talk later.